Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cisco,
And this is Mike.
and welcome to the Cisco and Mike podcast. Today's guest, he's actually the lead singer for the group called Los Yesterdays. Some of you guys may have heard him with Nobody's Clown and Time. And today we have Bad Vic. Thank you for coming, Bad Vic.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me on the show. And now there'll be three fools.
There you go. Yeah, we had the two fools being fools. But yeah, Vic, so thanks for coming on. I know you're a local guy as well, right? You grew up in this
I'm
area?
happy to be here, man. Yeah, it was a quick drive.
Nice.
And
You're
I
from.
was still late. You know how we are.
Hey, that's what that's the Chicano thing, right?
yeah.
We can't be on time.
If you ain't 50 minutes late, you ain't on time.
There you go.
CT, Chicano time.
So you're from Pasadena? Is that what I had read something about
So,
that?
no, actually, I'm originally from Central Valley.
Okay.
Right? So I do a lot of shows up there because, I'm a Central Valley guy, San Joaquin. But I moved out here, moved out to Hollywood when I was 17. And quickly became homeless. And I just always had a job and always had and then eventually I got a place and all that. But I grew up real poor, so I couldn't go back home because I was a burden, and I wasn't about to go sign up for the military because I don't like having people point guns at me,
Gotcha.
And so I always kind of kept the straight and narrow because I'm small and pretty. And I wouldn't do good in jail. So I just kind of focused on my art and all that. And, eventually, gentrification and then we have to move. And I just kept going east and east where I could afford the rent. And eventually I ended up here in Monrovia. But Roland was living in Altadena at the time when Los Yesterdays was formed, and that's where the studio was. So that's why we claim Altadena, the Dina, as our home. And somebody was just like, "Hey, you guys are from Pasadena, huh?" And I go, "No, Altadena." He goes, same shit." And I go, "No, dude, we can't afford Pasadena. Altadena is like poor Pasadena."
But isn't there like two sides to Pasadena, though?
South
The Port
Pasadena.
Side and
South
There's the
Pasadena.
south side, but it's all
nice,
rich,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Altadena used to be like hood, that's where the Jackie Robinson Center and there's all these churches and liquor stores. You tú sabes, that's always the makeup, right? And then rent's affordable, but then you're with the realtor and then you can hear gunshots in the background. But that's what we can afford. So anyway, we started working out of Altadena, and then Tommy was living in Altadena when he discovered Los Yesterdays and took us to Roth. And that's how we got signed. And because me and Roland, I quit music, for about good 8 years. I quit, man. I was like, man, I'm done with this battle. Playing the same clubs and everybody I know is getting older. Nobody comes to the shows and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm a songwriter and Roland's a songwriter. And we always had different projects, but we would help each other out because we knew each other for 30 years. I started playing in his brother Gibbs band. That's how we got affiliated. But we always had separate projects, always had respect, and he'd call me in for vocals, and I would call him in to produce or do some drums for me and stuff. And so we kind of had that, and then he hit me up to do some jingles for him for some commercials. And I all right, man. I was over there hanging out with him and his wife, Kristen, and then Roland goes, "Hey, man, I got an idea, man." He goes, "I want to do Chicano soul." And he goes, like the shit we grew up with, and back in the day, I'm your puppet, and all that Brenton Wood and all that good stuff. And I go, "Yeah, man, that sounds cool." He goes, "I really think the market, here, LA, the Raza's real loyal to that kind of music, and I think we can make an impact, and it's, we're getting old and nostalgic, so it's like, yeah, let's make some music then. Yeah, let's do it." So we did about 10 songs. And one of those songs was Mr. Yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. And so next thing you know, Tommy got ears on that through a mutual friend of ours, and he heard it, and he called us up and wanted a meeting, and he goes, "Hey, let's meet." And so we met over there in Highland Park, where I also used to live when it was affordable.
It was affordable before gentrification.
And we went to New York, and we were kicking back, and Tommy's like, "Yo, man, you guys wrote this song?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I don't think so, man." And I go, we're like, "What?" And he goes, "You didn't write this song." And we're like, "Yeah, man, we wrote it." He goes, "So if I had to go look for it, I couldn't find it anywhere else." And I go, we're like, we don't think so. And he goes, I looked for it, man. I couldn't find it. You guys wrote that song? And we're like, yeah, we wrote the song. And then he was like, he goes, who's your group? And it's like, we don't have a group. It's just us. And he's like, you don't have a band? And we're like, no. And he goes, let's get a band, man. And it's like, and we're like, are you kidding me? This dude, you know, because I was familiar. Roland didn't know Daptone, but I was a fan.
They're big in the Midwest, right?
East Coast.
East
They're
Coast.
they're out of Brooklyn. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was already on their tip. I went and saw Sharon Jones and James Hunter back in the day. And you know, unfortunately, I didn't get to meet Sharon, but and I still haven't got to meet James, but he's still around. But I got to sing backups on his last record, so that was cool because he's like it's like a hero thing. You know, like that guy's badass. They want me on the backup. So anyway. Yeah, man, it just kind of, he took it to Roth, and then, and it's real funny because this is a funny story. I'll try to keep it as tight as possible, but, you know, he's like, hey, Roth's coming down. He lives in Riverside, and he's building a studio, Penrose. He's got label. He wants to sign you guys. He wants to be in the band. All right, cool. All right, we're going to have a barbecue at Tommy's house. All right, cool. So we go over there. And we all hang out, and everything's cool. No business gets talked. Well, it was the first time. No business, right? So then we have another barbecue, and no business gets talked. And then we have like several more barbecues. So then summer's getting late, like late in the summer now. We're like, yo, Tommy, he ain't talked to us. He's like, oh, man, that's the way Roth is, and blah, blah, blah. You got to just. And one day me and Roland just finally, after we kind of got comfortable with each other, we just kind of cornered him at the barbecue. Hey, man, what's up? You want to get a band with us? Or what's going on? Like, we've been coming here to talk business, and all we've been doing is eating delicious food, you know? And so he goes, all right, man, you guys want to know what's up? He goes, come to my house in Riverside, you know, this next weekend. We'll go over there.
Another barbecue.
No, but we went over. There wasn't a barbecue, but we're kicking it in his palatial estate. And, you know, he's, hey, you guys want some whiskey, man? Roth likes good whiskey, you know. So I was like, yeah, I'll take the class, man. So we're kicking back, and he's like, hey, man, listen to this record. And he's like putting on 45s and putting on 45s. And we're just sitting there, and, you know, both me and Roland got to work the next day. And the next thing you know, it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30, and we're like, hey, dog, like, all we've been doing is listening to records, man. Like, are we going to talk about this? We got work, and we got an hour drive back to, you know, to San Gabriel Valley. And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, you want to know why we haven't talked business? And we're like, why? And he goes, when you've been on tour for as long as we've been on tour, me and Tommy, he goes, one thing you find out is that when you first start a band and then you start immediately touring, you may not know everybody, and you may not agree with everybody, and you may not like everybody. And if you have to be on tour and in a bus with these people and always on the road with them, and you have, you know, there's beef there, he goes, it turns into a job, man. It's not fun. So we auditioned you guys to be our friends first, to see if we liked you guys.
That's a complete.
To see if you were down. So that if we like you guys, then we'll play together. And you guys pass the audition, so yeah, we'll get down to business. And then we just started writing. But that was real smart, man.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
The Roth is a man. He's, you know, obviously everybody knows who he is and how much of a genius he is. And he is, and all the guys in the band are geniuses. I don't know what I'm doing there, but they're all geniuses. But you know, he's a real smart guy in a lot of ways, man. That guy is one of the smartest cats I know in any way, you know, like any kind of topic, he knows a lot about it. And I'm no dummy, so, because, you know, I read a lot. Obviously, from the lyrics of Clown, you can tell badly, madly, sadly, gladly, I'm a strong reader.
But that's pretty unconventional, but that's pretty smart. You think about it, a lot of groups break up because of the chemistry or
because somebody
jealousy or whatever it is.
They got some kind of pedo in the band.
Yeah.
And
too many heads or too many singers.
It's like a marriage. It's like a marriage, pretty much.
It is.
Right?
It is, and you got to be around each other, you know. And that's the thing. It's like you know, it's like being with somebody who you hate, but the sex is great. You know, it's just like it's like the only time you ever really get, you know, you want to get along is when you're getting down, and then after that, it's just like. you know, like this and stuff. And so that's, music is a lot like that, because it's a very emotional experience, you know, to play with each other. And it gets to be like, I've unfortunately never experienced that with a female before, you know, in any relationship where you can complete each other's sentences and know what each other's thinking. But in bands, that's happened quite a few times. And there's no better feeling than when you guys are all on the same page, and so is the crowd. And there's like this real back and forth communication,
like a harmony that's going on,
that's just not spoken, you know. Yeah. And
but I'm assuming that also has to do with you guys all being different in a certain way that you guys click, right?
Yeah, that's very important. Chemistry, right? They call it chemistry. Yeah. It's very important to have that chemistry. You cannot you can't manufacture that. You can't force it, you know. And people could be good, but you got to have that click. And I know Tommy was a little iffy about me at first, and in truth, so was I, because those guys all have bona fides, man. They all have pedigree. You know, I never did nothing. You know, I just thought, oh man, you know, I'm never gonna do anything. But you know, Roland knew me, so he called me in for sessions and stuff like that. But it's funny because I didn't want to play no more, and I told Roland, I'm like, when we did Mr. Yesterday, I go, he goes, let's do a bunch of songs. I go, all right, man, but I'll tell you what, I'm not doing a band. I'm not getting in a band. I'm not singing live anymore. I don't want to do it. It's tiring. I'm tired right now because we played last night. But then when you get Roth and Brennick and Roland's just one of my favorite drummers I've ever seen live. I've worshipped him for years since I met him. And, and to play with guys like that, man, it makes it real enticing. It makes it, you know, again, I bring it back to the sex thing. It's just like, oh, I'm celibate. And it's like, but, okay, Sofia Vergara, okay, I'll break my celibacy for you.
So do you think that eventually you'll give it up? Or do you think you'll always be...
I'll always be writing, you know. That's the thing I remember telling a partner of mine. I was like, you know, Dave Brocca, who did the video, Nobody's Clown, I've known him for 20-something years, you know. And I was just like, you know, I mean, I don't even consider, when I wasn't doing music, I don't even consider myself a musician no more. You know, I go, I'm not doing anything. And he goes, but you're still writing music, right? And I go, well, yeah, I'm writing music. He goes, you're a musician, dude. Of course you're still a musician. Yeah. You're writing music. I go, but I'm not doing anything with it. He goes, who cares, man? You're still doing it. If you're a painter and you're at your house painting and you're not selling paintings, but you're still painting, you're a painter.
That's how you express yourself, right? Yeah. That's how you get all your feelings and emotions up.
Yeah, so I'll always be a writer. I don't know if I'll always be a singer. I mean, I have a great time when I'm doing it and being on stage, but it is grueling, you know, like, you know, everybody, you know, like, cause it's you know, my instrument's made of meat, you know, you don't know if it's going to be. Some days, you know, you wake up, your voice is higher, some day it's lower, some days, you know, it's scratchy, something. So you never really know, and it's a little nerve-wracking, you know, especially if you like have real bad allergies like I have them, or, you know, so you never know. I'll do it for as long as he can do it. As long as he's good, I'm good.
Holds up.
Yeah. But it gives me hope, you know, seeing people like Brenton Wood and all these good, you know, older cats that are doing, Joe Batan, Little Willie G, and they're all still out there, and that gives me hope, you know. And so you know, we're living our best life right now, man. We're getting a lot of opportunities because of this, and you know, one of those opportunities was the This Fool show, you know, the This Fool on Hulu. And Roland and Tommy did the music for that, and Los Yesterdays got to play their cast and crew party on a rooftop in Hollywood, all kinds of.
And you got to meet.
I got to meet Frankie Quinones. Yeah. I was looking for him at the party, and I'm walking by, and somebody goes, "Hey!" And I turn around, and it's Frankie, and he's just like, "Hey, you're the singer for Los Yesterdays, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, man." And he goes, "Man, I've been following you guys for a minute." And I'm like, "Man, I've been following you for a minute." And he's like, "Hey, let's take a selfie." And so, you know, I took a selfie with a little creeper. It was cool, man.
Both of you were geeking out at each other.
Yeah, you know, it was a trip. It was a trip because to me, you know, like I said, you know, I think this scene, it's very small, tight little community, real niche, you know. And, you know, as like, you know, those of us who grew up on oldies, and, you know, like I was mentioning Brenton Wood and Batan and Willie G, you know, a lot of these cats, like Sonny Osuna, still playing, like they wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for Raza, because, let's just face it, like the soul music and Chicano soul included is all black music, right? Mm-hmm. That's black music that but the thing about, the black culture is that they're the innovators. They're always coming up with the new stuff, right? And when they come up with the new thing, they're on to the next thing, right? And then they leave the other thing behind, and then we, all swoop in and take it and own it. And Raza's taken real ownership of that oldies style that nobody did. And you see Brenton Wood, and you see these guys thanking Raza for keeping them relevant. Man, they'd not have a career because they're all the black culture, they feel abandoned by that. And so we kept it alive, and that's why like I call I'm Your Puppets like the Chicano national anthem. It's like it's like
I'm against that. Okay, I used to like that song, but then I realized what it meant. I'm like, what do you mean I'm your puppet? What do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
It's something that's kind of crazy about Raza and our culture, right? Is that you have all these hard fools, right? They're all hard. But they're bien románticos.
All the oldie songs are like romantic and stuff.
Yeah, they're all real romantic, and they don't mind getting all like teary eyed with their lady dancing.
But you know what's funny? If you ask them,
"I love you, babe," like
if you ask them, "No, it's not about my hyena, it's about my car, my lord."
Yeah. That's why I'm crying.
But there's a picture of their girl in the car. Like, what the fuck you mean it's not about your girl, dog?
Yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
We're a trip like that. I know, that we're real in touch with our emotions, though, no matter how hard you are, Yeah. This is why we put the teardrops on the face. I mean, we know the reason why, but it's just like smile now, cry later. Don't cry. Don't show any weakness in front of other people. But we feel shit. That's why that's why you got the cry and all the ranchera music, we're always crying, man. It's like, and that's why I threw that little cry into Nobody's Clown too. I did that because I'm like, well, it came from a real place too. I was real heartbroken when I wrote that, and that was some real shit that I was going through. But I got that from the culture, and you listen to that kind of music and you grow up on all of it, right? Because we listen to Latino parties, like mix, it goes all the way from Los Panchos to, of course, you got some Chente, and then you got the lowrider oldies, and then you got like Lisa and Cold Jam and Zapp and Roger. And it's kind of all over the place, and that's one party. And then the cumbias come in at the end of the night, and so, it's a trip and you see a lot of that in that show, the Hulu show. It really represents our cultura well. And I wish it the best of success. I'm real proud of my guys, Roland and Tommy.
I gotta check it out.
They did the music.
Hugs not thugs. Hugs not thugs.
Hugs not thugs. Yeah.
I remember the Homeboy Industries, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
Yeah, same pedo. Same thing.
Hugs not thugs.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying that show. I'm kind of like taking my time with it because I don't want to get, I want to.
You don't want to get too invested?
I want to savor it. I don't want to be done with it already.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I hope it's not a stupid question.
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
No, don't say that, because the last time I said
only
that.
stupid answers. And
the last time somebody said that on here, as soon as I finished, that was a stupid question. No. Okay, so, the Chicano soul, oldies, is big on the with
Soldies, that's what they call them right now.
Soldies, yeah, we rebranded. Or as Roland calls them, Art Laboldies.
That's what I was going to ask. That's what I was headed. So, have you guys ever been requested by somebody on Art Labo's Sunday? You know how on Sundays he goes on?
Yeah.
Has any cholillo from like the prison? Is it?
I want something. I don't know, dog. I honestly don't know.
You guys have, bro. I listen on Sundays. I listen on Sundays.
So they have.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nobody's Clown thing it's really a phenomenon. I really can't. I mean, I knew it was good. I knew the song was good, right? And but I didn't know. Let's just put it this way. and to speak about our cultura and how we never. We're like AC/DC fans, you know. We don't want it to ever change. Like all the same pedo, all the same clothes, the same cars, the same music, you know, the same estilo. Everything's the same, right? And so I was with a homie, and he's a waifu, but he grew up around us, you know, out here. And when he was there in the studio when we recorded Clown, and he goes, hey man, he goes, I know how the culture is, man. He goes, but clowns and puppets, dog, isn't that a bit much? And I go, have you looked at Instagram and what we're doing? It's all beaches, clowns, and puppets, dude. It's all that. You got the clowns, puppets, Smile Now, Cry Later, which is also in the video on the poster. Yeah. And the only thing we didn't have was La Virgen. That's it. Everything else was there. Okay.
That's crazy. So yeah, that obviously Nobody's Clown. That's one of the biggest songs right now. Whose idea was it to actually put in a puppet? You know, like that was your idea?
Guilty. Yeah. So what happened was, so for everybody out there who doesn't know, like I'm always getting my heart broken, and it's never my fault. Ladies. Never my fault, ladies. But you know, when I was in a long relationship for about 12 years, and it just kind of fizzled, right? And so I was heartbroken. That's when I wrote Mystery Yesterday, because that's how I was feeling, right? And so I was on IG, and I spotted El Triste, and I'm like, that little fool looks like me. And I was like, you know, a lot of people think the puppet was made to look like me, but he existed, you know, and we were just like long lost brothers. You know, he's my wooden brother. And so I saw him, and I said, oh, I want to make a video for Mystery Yesterday with El Triste. So then, anywho, I just happened to be writing that. I wrote the lyrics for Nobody's Clown, and I know I get all kinds of pedo for the lyrics. Those lyrics are stupid, and I agree with you. They are stupid lyrics. I didn't like them when I wrote them. I thought they were lame, Mother Goose, Dr. Seuss shit. But when Tommy played the song for me, and I went through some lyrics, and I said, no, that's not gonna. And then I looked at those lyrics. I immediately knew how to sing the song as if I'd heard it 100 times, and I just started singing it, and the lyrics just worked perfecto. And one thing I didn't realize was that those lyrics, because they're so simple, are easy for people of English as a second language to learn, and because of the little cards that I was in my tribute to Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues, you know, the mom's in the basement picking up the and all that, the cards falling. So we needed to do something with El Triste, you know, and I was like, let's just do that. So we did that, and then it's teaching kids how to read. And so we have a bunch of kid fans, which I never knew. Out of my heartbreak, I was going to have all these kids who love this music. And, you know, when I set out to make that video, I pitched it to the band, and they're like, "Oh man, it's too much money, man. You know, we don't think that a video these days is worth it." Yeah. And I said, "Man, we're on lockdown, and we can't play music, we can't perform, and nobody knows who Los Yesterdays is because we didn't have a band. It was me and Roland working in his garage." You know, and I'm like, we need to do something so people know we're here. So we had that single, and then I said, okay, you know what? I'll finance it myself. I'll do the video. And so that's why then I contacted Cain on IG, and he, you know, it's a trip the way that he views El Triste like a person, you know. Yeah. It's like these puppeteers are real attached to their puppets. None so much as Cain is with El Triste though, and you know, I remember when I'd go pick him up I'd have to pick him up for a fitting, cause you know, for his little matador outfit. and Cain, I take him over to Nasira Elias Designs on IG, and you know, he goes, hey, you know, you don't got a car seat for him? And I go, nah, dog, check it out. I'll put him in my, you know, I put a belt on him and everything. He goes, just, all right, man, you know, be careful. He was like real worried, like that dad sending the kid to daycare or whatever, you know. And I'm like, I got him, dog, I got him. And the first thing I did was I had to wait for her. She was doing something else, and so I had to wait. So I went to a bar, and then I was like sitting there drinking. I'm like, oh shit, I left El Triste. Oh, sorry, Cain, if you're watching that. But I caught myself immediately, and I went and I got his ass. He was just still sitting there in my car like that, and I'm like, oh man, somebody.
He was sad.
Yeah. I'm like, somebody might steal this fool, so I went and got him. And so anyway, though, you know, he's very. So then the next time I had to pick him up for, I forget what it was. I went over there, and then he brings him out, and he goes, "Oh, you didn't get a car seat?" He was serious, dude. He wanted me to get a car seat for El Triste. But when I was telling him about the video, because all the other videos he's done, it's him and he's there smoking and El Triste is doing a thing and they're, you know. But when I told him, I go, this is a video about El Triste and La Smiley. It's about them and their love and how she breaks his heart and all that. And he was all, so I'm not going to be in it. And back then, we weren't going to have no people. And I'm like, no, it's just going to be, and he goes, oh, it's going to be all about El Triste? Oh man, he's gonna be real happy about that, you know. He's a person
right now.
Yeah. And I was like, I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, he'll be real happy, man. He's gonna be the star. And so Cain was real happy with that, man. And you know, me and Dave, you know, because of the pandemic, there was nothing we could do. So we played disc golf, you know, the Frisbee. And so we would that was the only thing that was open. We would go to, you know, Elysian Park and, you know, there was no picnics and all that stuff. It was empty. So we would just go over there and play disc golf. And then I pitched him the treatment for Nobody's Clown. And I told him all about it. And then I showed him El Triste. And then I played him the song. And he goes, he was traveling with his documentary, the Knox mine disaster. It's the biggest coal mine disaster that happened in Pennsylvania, where he's from, and he did a documentary about it. It's historical over there, and he was touring with it around the United States, and he was in L.A. and he was supposed to go to San Diego, and I had to go to San Diego we were going to be playing the Penrose tour launched, right? We're relaunching it now because the pandemic's over, but when we launched it, as soon as we launched it, we didn't get to play one show because of the pandemic. Everything got shut down, right? So anyway, that fool's from PA, and he got trapped here in LA, and he ended up he only had like a couple of days worth of clothes, and he ended up having to crash at my pad, and so we would go play disc golf until he found his own place and stuff, and then I told him that, and he goes, "Hey, you got to let me do this video." And, you know, back in the day, you know, he was all, you know, I don't do videos anymore. I'm a serious filmmaker, blah, 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 all that bad. So I didn't even think about asking him. But then when he heard the concept and everything, and so then we took the song to Roth, and it wasn't supposed to be included on the session, but we had got all our tracks done early, and he goes, you guys got anything else? And Tommy's like, actually, I brought these reels of this song we just did called Nobody's Clown. And Roth's like, put it on, man. And Roth is a tough person to please, man.
He's a big critic.
He does not like a lot. He does not. And as a matter of fact, when we got signed, Tommy's like, hey, man, I'm just telling you right now, don't be surprised if he doesn't like none of it. And he liked all of it. And so that's, yeah. So he was like, I never seen that. I never seen him do that before. And so he listened. He's just standing there with his back to us, listening. And we're all sitting there looking at each other. And then he turns around and he's like, that's a good song, man. Let's cut it. And then we cut it. It made the session. And the next thing you know, the label said, we want that to be the new single. So I went back.
Now at this point, had that video been made already?
No, we were just talking about it. Mm-hmm. And then I went back to Dave and I go, oh shit, dude, they want to do this song as the next single. We got to start working on this video now.
Yeah.
So then we went into production mode immediately. And it worked out beautifully, man. It was just like we wanted. Everything that we had. I have storyboards that I drew up. I can draw and storyboards, and we put everything together. And man, it was we did it in 3 days. First day was 17 hours here in Duarte. We did it at the Roadhouse, Route 66 Roadhouse Bar and Grill. And one of my favorite places to hang, if anybody ever wants to, is driving through Duarte. Wants to, I'm probably in there. But then You know, we filmed it over there because they were closed. Everybody was closed. All the venues, we got the, you know, Sierra Madre Playhouse in there. All the venues were dirt cheap because they were closed. Yeah. They weren't making no money. So we got everything for a steal, man. And nice. It was great. That first day was 17 hours. And then the next day was like 15 hours, and then like the last one was like a regular 8-hour day or something like that. But it was really crazy. Everybody in the video is from the cast, the crew, except for Adriana Flores from the Altons. She's in it. She has an appearance, a cameo. And then my little niece Hunter Acaranti, and then Trish Toledo's hands are the puppet.
Holding the puppet?
Yeah, holding the puppet and cutting the puppet strings. And then Luciana Vara, who is the one who buys El Triste at the end. And she was the only actress we actually did a casting call for. And she was just perfect, man. She was perfect, you know. Nice. So it worked out pretty good. And that was my first video. And then I said, oh, man, I'm good at this. And so I'm going to start doing more videos. So I got a couple other video ideas that we're working on. We're working on one for a new single right now.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it turns out, you know, when you're a writer, it's a story. So it's a video. It's a story.
You're right. You have a vision for it,
yeah,
right?
So you just come up with a story, and it's like, man, I'm good at this. I think I'm going to continue with this. So it's been great. And then having my partner, Dave Braca, you know, there's nothing cooler than working with your friends and your brothers, you know, and because me and Roland are like brothers, and me and Dave are like brothers, and everybody thinks like we know Tommy and Roth for a long time, but we had just met them. We were the last one to get signed to Penrose. We weren't even on their radar because we didn't play. We didn't play no shows.
Because you guys are fairly new, right? You guys are a couple of years old, maybe like 4 years old, 3 years old.
6 years old. We started the band in 2016. We named it, I think, in 2018 when we met Roth and Brennick, and I named the band, and everybody hated it, and they still don't like the name, but I won because Roth's wife forced him to
to use it. Well, I mean, but I mean, it represents, right, the style of the music, the sound.
Those yesterday's.
Yeah, the sound of it.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like I'm like, look, what are we trying to say, right? Because I'll be honest, I'm in a corporate world. You know, I do a corporate gig. You know, I got a real job. You know, a real career, and so part of that is marketing, and so I was like, you want to come up with a name that people are already gonna guess, or at least know, or at least guess what it is you do, right? Yeah. So I go, we want to say that we're a Chicano soul band, that we're doing old school soul, and we want to say we're Chicanos. Los, that's Chicano, right? Latino,
Spanish,
Mexicano, right? Spanish. Yesterdays.
It's pretty much self-explanatory,
right? I go, it's on the nose, but nobody has to guess. They're not gonna go and say, oh, Los Yesterdays, they're a pop band, or they're EM. What do they call that? What is it?
EMC or
EM,
what the fuck is that?
Electro EDM.
EDM.
EDM. I always have to speak it out. Yeah, I'm old, people. I get it. You can laugh at home.
Let's Back to the Futures.
Or using like the first name of the singer and then like a name of a watch or something, That's how it was before.
So it's it is I think it's good. People love it, man.
I think the name's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yesterday's.
It fits it.
It's about the past.
Yeah,
it's about.
And our stuff, people always tell us, man, you guys, that stuff. Oh man, I thought this song was like an old song. I thought, well, we recorded everything the way that they did it back then. Everything's on tape, and the old mics and the old reverb and the old, everything's done in the classic style. So you better get your take down.
That's what I was gonna ask. How difficult is it to like recreate a sound that was that's rarely used?
It ain't difficult for Roth and Roland. Those guys, their ears are ridiculous, man. They know anything that their brain can imagine, they can do. Those guys like, and same thing with Brannick, you know, Tommy, you know, he's a great producer in his own right. You know, you know, like I said, I don't know why I'm there. I feel like the Ringo in the band. It's like, you know, it's like they listened to my idea. They liked it. You know, but it's those guys they're just amazing. The amount of talent and creativity, it's real crazy, man. I lucked out big time. Because I was fine. I was just gonna do my career and you know retire and get my 401k and all that better and you know I'm doing all right, you know, and I was perfectly happy not doing music. I mean, I was writing and stuff like that, and you know, but I was I just you know, I was like, okay, this isn't meant to be, you know. But then you know God called me back. You know how it is. It's like when you want something so bad, you don't get it. And then as soon as you say, okay, I'm letting it go, then God was like, all right, you're ready now. You're ready. You're not going to act a fool. You're not going to kill yourself, you know, getting crazy with, you know, drugs, alcohol, and women. You're all tranquilo now. You can handle it, mijito. I waited until you could handle it. It's like, well, I hope I got a few more years on the planet to enjoy this shit.
Hey, waited till that heartbreak, man.
Oh, man, I don't want no more of those, man. I'm tired of that.
That inspiration. One time I was telling him, like, some of the best music is written when people are heartbroken or, you know, things like that. So,
well, you know, it's incredibly difficult as a writer, and I'm going to give props to my man, what's that fool's name? Pharrell, for writing Williams? A song called Happy. And it's a happy-ass song, and it's about being happy. You know how hard it is to write a happy-ass song about being happy that ain't fucking annoying? Yeah. He did it. And it's when you're happy, it's not easy to write a song. But, well, for me, I find it easier to write songs when I'm not happy because, look, when you're happy, the world is your friend. You know, what do you got?
You don't see anything bad.
You don't see nothing. Everything is a beautiful day, you know?
It's not inspiring.
Right? So like you're happy and you're driving down the street and you see a dog walking down the street, you know, a little dirty dog, and you're like, oh, look at that little dog, oh, whatever. And then, but you're sad and you look at that dog and you're like,
damn, that's
he's like me.
He's like me, all dirty.
Like no, he's the perro sin dueño. You're like nobody wants him.
Loves me.
Nobody wants him. He's all by himself. You know. So it just your emotions
clouds are dark.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Everything looks different. You know, food tastes different. Everything's just darker when you're depressed and your emotions are right there. Like a raw nerve, you know, because you're just everything affects you emotionally. You're sitting there watching a commercial, crying and shit. Oh, the commercial made me cry. You know, so it's just you got more access to your emotions when you're in pain. You know, it's like being in physical pain too. You know, like a raw nerve. It's you know, there's more access to your emotions that way. When you're happy, it's harder to say, or maybe that's just me. Like when I'm happy, it's harder to say, well, what am I feeling? What do I feel? Well, you know? And how do I make, you know, life is fucking great into a compelling song? Gee, my life's so good, you know? A lot of people do that. I find it hard to relate to, oh, you know, look at my ice and look at my big ride in my mansion and all these bitches and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know what that life's like. I can't relate to that shit. You know, must be nice. But, you know, if you talk about stuff that is the human experience, right? That's why there's so many love songs. Songs about loss. You know, that's something that we all feel as human beings, you know? And I think it's something that hits people way harder. And I'll tell you something else about the lyrics that when I was talking about the clown thing and how basic it is. I used to want to be Jim Morrison, right? And like, oh, I'm going to write this flowery prose and be like, you know, I'm going to let people extrapolate their own meaning from what I'm saying because that's what real art is, esoteric. And throwing out all the big colleges. So you know I know those words. It's not all gladly, madly, sadly. And then I got into I ended up getting back in because my parents are from Tejas and we used to listen to a lot of country music, but I was like, you know, fuck that redneck shit. And then, but then I got back into it later and it was like Willie Nelson and then people like Tom Waits, where it sounds like they're just like you're just in a bar talking to somebody and they're telling you about their pain and why they're there. And to me, that hit me. Those lines hit me a lot harder than, you know, all the flowery words and trying to be poetic. To just have somebody sit there and spill their pain out in front of you hits way harder. Like there's one of my favorite Tom Waits songs is Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis. And it's literally a Christmas, like she's writing about how great her life is, right? And then only to tell him at the end that it's all a lie and that she needs bail money. You know? And so that kind of stuff, that's humanity. Humanity is sometimes it's ugly, but it's still beautiful, you know? And for those of us who struggled, and you know, I lived in, you know, in the barrio, and you see all you see is struggle, you know, and all you have is your ability to express yourself, and the way that we do it is usually through laughter, right? It's like if when things are bad, you laugh it off, because what else are you gonna do? It's either you laugh or you cry, right? So when things are bad, you ain't got food to eat, you sit there and make jokes about how poor you are. You know, and so to me, I think that more people can relate to that. There's a lot more poor people in the world than there is rich people. Let's put it that way. Yeah. There's a lot more heartbroken people there are in the world than who have good relationships, you know? Yeah. So to me, that's I'd rather speak to those people, because those are my people. Hey, you poor and heartbroken, that's my people.
You can relate.
Yeah. You know, so that's kind of what I liked. And the one other thing about country music that I really like is the tragedy. Like they have some real cold-blooded stuff, like cold-blooded songs, like you know, I Don't Want to Play House from Tammy Wynette, you know, because it you know, it makes my mama cry, because when she played house, my daddy said goodbye. It's like brutal.
I don't know. I find it hard for me to listen to country, because I guess I don't understand it. Yeah. But when you put it that way, it's like, fuck, it's the same shit. Yeah. It's just in a different fucking.
Yeah, and you know, ranchera's music is the country music of. It's the same pedo, same kind of chords.
Yeah, it's kind of like Casas de Madera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's Casas de Madera.
It's a sad song. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about fucking shacks.
Yeah, yeah. And they with a single wind will blow it down. You know, it's just like, you know, and you know, and then I'll be in one of those when I die. You know, it's gonna be my casket. You know, and you know, stories like that. You know, and that's what those country songs are, real sad, and they talk about real tragic loss. You know, about people, you know, your loved ones dying, and, you know, your baby's dying. And, you know, so to me, I want to be that person that does that in this genre, because everybody else is doing the love songs and everything. But like, I have a song called Judgment Day about a guy on death row. And, you know, I've done work with Project Hope California and No More Locked Doors. And we played Corcoran Prison. And you meet these young cats that they made a mistake, right, when they were younger, and they took somebody's life, and they're in there and they're never getting out, man. And they're young, and they're good kids, man. They're not all, they're all hard, you know. They just fucked up, man, and they were young. And so, you know, No More Locked Doors tries to get them their sentences lessened because they were a juvenile offender, you know. So that speaks to me, and I wrote that song. When I wrote that song, it was just a song. It was just something that I wrote about, you know, because we all got gente who's locked up and stuff. But I never put myself into those shoes before until I wrote that song. And the lyrics it's like, the guard came to my cell. He reached for his belt and grabbed his key ring. He said, "It's time to go." I said, "It's all right, I know," as we were leaving. The air was humid and still, but I felt a chill run through my body. I thought of what I had done when I was young and how they caught me, you know. And he goes, "I know that I was wrong, and I must be and that I must pay." So I take my place and turn to face those from whom I have taken. And I pray to the Lord, in merciful heaven, I'll awaken. I know that I've done wrong and I must pay, but I'll be free on judgment day. And that's his day.
Yeah.
Like, he's never getting out.
That's the day he's getting executed?
That's the day he gets executed. And he realizes that he messed up, and he's repenting, and he's asking God for forgiveness, and he goes in front of the family and to ask them for forgiveness, right? So I turn to face those from whom I've taken, you know, and he knows that's the only way he'll ever be free. He was never getting out of there. Yeah. That's the only way. So that's his judgment day, is he'll be free on judgment day.
Gotcha.
And then he'll have to deal with judgment day.
Yeah, up there
in heaven. Yeah. So, you know, that I like to write songs about. And every time we play that song, people come up to me and it's like, "Hey, God, no, we're gonna get that song, man. I gotta, you know, my deal's locked up, or you know, So it's just like, you know, I'm like, well, we haven't put that one out yet, but it's more of an album track, right? It's not something that you want to hear on a 45. I mean, it is something on a 45. I don't know if it would be an A song. The song is chilling, though. It's a really good song, and it hits people hard. But I like stuff that is more, I want to talk about things more than just love, you know, even though I got, you know, all my songs are about love pretty much.
Speaking of love, you said you obviously a lot of the songs come from being heartbroken. So I'm assuming you fall in love a lot, right?
I wouldn't say a lot.
Or your nickname. What is your nickname?
Well, I got all kinds of them, but it's they call me Mr. Yesterday, like nobody's clown, but I'm Bad Vic.
Bad Vic.
Yeah.
Why do they call you Bad Vic? Where did that come from?
So this was back when, I was a youngster, to tell you the truth. I've been Bad Vic for a minute, a fat minute. So I was messing around with a friend of mine, right? And she had feelings for me, but you know, I was like, hey, you know, be friends with Benny's and everything. And she was cool until I had said, hey, I want to get with this other chick. And then she went crazy on me. And I was like, what, you know, you knew the deal. We had an agreement. Like, you're an adult, you know, I didn't force you to do nothing. And, you know, we weren't together, and you know that. And needless to say out there, to all the youngsters, all the young men out there, don't ever believe it. Don't ever believe it. They'll say that, but it's not true. So anyway, she knew another Vic. So whenever she would refer to me, and she would refer to Vic, she would say, yeah, well, Vic this, and there'd be, which Vic? Good Vic or Bad Vic? And so that's how I got my name.
Gotcha.
Bad Vic.
Bad Vic.
Uh-huh.
And it's stuck, huh?
And it's stuck. And
till this day.
So then, you know, fast forward 15 years later or whatever, and I was looking for a band name. I had a kind of like, it was like a cross between Funkadelic and like early Funkadelic, like you know, like America Eats Its Young Funkadelic, and like Rocksteady, Bob Marley, you know, Peter Tosh kind of stuff. And I was looking for a name, and I'm like, oh, Bob Marley and the Wailers, and I was like, Bad Vic and the Good Intentions. Bad Vic and the Good Intentions. So then I put that together, and you know, like I said, I got a marketing background. I'm good at naming shit. I'm real good at naming things.
That's a pretty good name.
So so Bad Vic stuck, and then like it's funny when you first meet people too, and they're like, who are you, Bad Vic? Bad Vic. They're all like, presumido, you know. And it's like, I didn't name myself, man. The funny thing is that like I'm 5'0", and people always like, hey, Big Vic, and I'm like, Big Vic. That's like calling the big fool tiny, huh? Big Vic.
I hate
anything
that,
but Big Vic.
What?
I hate when people say, what's up, big dog?
That's what they fucking call me. And I'm fucking, I hate it.
Big dog. Everybody's big dog.
Why you call me big dog? Hey, big homie. Big homie? What the fuck? I'm assuming they're talking about my weight, so like fucking asshole.
It's not
shit.
the height. So.
I don't know what the hell they're calling me Big Vic for.
I don't know. I don't like that shit either. That's my no manches, by the way.
No manches right there. There you go.
So
got to the segment earlier already.
I know, right? So you guys have been real busy lately. You guys have been doing shows like crazy.
A lot. Yeah, we had a show last night over in First Street Pool and Billiards in Boyle Heights, where we recorded most of the Nobody's Clown video. So yeah, it was good to be back for the gente over there. It was a lot of fun, man. Cool spot. If you've never been to First Street Pool and Billiards, go check it out in Boyle Heights on First.
And now, so you guys got that. You guys been performing like crazy. You guys got any new albums or singles coming out? That you guys have been working on?
We're working on a full-length record right now.
Nice.
We got a single for that coming out. That's on. That'll be coming out on Now Again Records, which is where Mr. Yesterday first came out. And then we have another single coming out on Penrose, a song called Who Made You You. That's a real coat hanger, man, real rolla. And so that's coming out. We just got mixes back for that yesterday. And the other one on the other single for Now Again is complete, and that's called Love is a Game for Fools. And so meanwhile, we're working on this record, this full length, and we're having all kind of fun. It's been amazing to get back in the studio and just bang shit out again. Because, we've been out there promoting, playing, touring, and doing all. We've gotten a lot of other opportunities too. We went over to Memphis. We got flown to Memphis, me and Roland, to record with this band called the Cold Blooded Express, who had a local hit in the 70s there, and they were Al Green's touring band. And all these cats are in their 70s, and we redid their hit with them, and with the band live in same thing, straight to tape. Did 5 takes. Take 3 was the one, and the Lester Snell, the keyboard player from Isaac Hayes, all through the 70s, he was in the session too. So we played with all these real Memphis cats, man. They're like old school OGs, man.
What is the reception from them? Like from a lot of the older cats are still alive.
So
when they hear you guys,
it was funny. It was funny when we got there, because we got there, right, and we go straight into the booth. We'd never played together. I go into the vocal booth, Ron goes into the drum booth, and all the cats are sitting out in the studio area. And we cut 2 tracks, bam, bam, back to back. We all came out, everybody smiles. And they're like, man, you can sing. And I'm like, hey, thank you. And, no, you can sing. And I'm like, so we're listening. We listen to the tracks, and we're talking about, okay, well, we could do this different. And blah, blah, blah. We're in the control booth. And then the main dude, the musical director, Howard, songwriter, musical director, goes up. And, he's an old Southern brother. So the way that he talks, he's from Jacksonville. Or no, he's from Jackson. And he goes, when they told us we was going to have 2 boys from California coming down here to sing on some Memphis soul, I had my concerns. He goes, but as soon as I heard you sing, I knew it was going to be all right. And he goes, because I closed my eyes, and I swear I heard the first singer in there. And then at other times, I said, man, he could really learn a thing or two from Vic. And he's like, I couldn't believe what he was saying, And then, and he goes, I swore the first time I heard you sing when you sent that demo in that you was a black man. You honorary. Honorary black status, dude. I was just like, yeah. I'm like, does that come with is there some kind of medal or something I can show that off? I need some kind of certificate, right? I'm honorary brother. What's up?
Yeah. Especially with that soul music, man, singing and getting to the
it was intimidating, dude. It was intimidating. But it was funny because we walked in, and it was like, cats is cats, man. And, you game recognize game. And we were we all just shook each other's hands like we knew each other our whole lives, man. And we kicked back in Sam Phillips' studio, dude, legendary. We're all kinds of famous people. And I went in there and just acted like it was my house.
Power of music, man.
Yeah.
Power of music. You just close your eyes and.
Yeah, and these guys had such a good time with it that they want to fly us back there to do the rest of the record, the original record that they did. So.
Oh, nice.
That didn't suck, man. We got free airfare, free accommodations, and we flew in on Friday night, Saturday was a session, and I stayed there for another 6 days just chilling in Memphis and hanging out.
If you want some company, we'll go a lot.
I don't say, but
we'll just pretend or something. Like
I do photography though.
Orale.
So that's one thing I do. I haven't done it in a while. It's been like 2 years, obviously for health reasons. But I did dabble in photography. So if you're a photographer, fuck it.
Orale. Orale. I'll take you up on that. Big Mike. Big dog.
Big dog.
Big dog.
That's fucked up.
No manches.
Yeah, there's no manches right there.
Anyways, speaking of no manches, I think it's time to move on to the no manches.
Yeah, no
segment.
manches, yeah.
He told you what no manches is. Obviously, you know what it is.
Yeah.
A pet peeve, whether it doesn't have to be a serious one. It could be a funny one or whatever it is that you have a no manches on. You started last week, and then should we let the guest go first today?
If you want, I'll start him now. That way he gets the rhythm, and we'll save it. So since we're talking about music, right? I know that systems. Remember, if systems were a big thing back in the day, now you don't see it as much. You don't hear it as much.
You're talking about like systems.
System cars, yeah. So you don't hear them as much. But when you're at a stoplight, car pulls up, no system, and they're blasting away. You can't even understand the music. You just hear the static of the speakers blown out and everything.
What you talking about when I pulled up?
Yeah, I don't want to throw you under the bus, man.
Everybody think I got some kind of firme, rampla. It's like this is your car. I'm like, I'm a musician, man. We're poor.
I said, hey, what kind of car do you drive?
You want to really know? It's a 4-door sedan, an old man car. And let me tell you, for all the youngsters out there, if you think it's funny driving around in an old man car, the cops don't look at you, dog. I used to get pulled over all the time when I was in my Honda Civic. Now they don't even look at me. I drove around all heartbroken for 6 months with expired tags, no pedal.
There you go, guys. You guys got a tip and shit.
There you go. Yeah, there's your tip right there.
But yeah, man, guys, just
Not
pulling
to
up.
mention, I am an old man now, so they don't look at me. If I'm swerving, they're just like, "Oh, he's that old fool."
His glasses or something.
Yeah, old fool can't see.
But yeah, just someone pulling up next to you and just rattling like those speakers that are burned
with no
out.
System.
No system at all.
So just the stock.
Just the stock.
stock
Like, they
stereo.
just blew it out.
That's all they got, though.
Yeah,
what do you want
but
to
if
do?
I don't understand the music, what makes you
But
think
they
that
understand
they can't even understand it? You just hear the like the whole entire time. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't like the ones with the systems. Supposedly have systems in it. And all you hear is like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's because they don't have the tape on the trunk.
Hey, if you're gonna put a system in, fucking do it right?
Huh?
Hey man, I ain't got any. I never had money for that. It was like when we were at the.
I didn't have money for that shit, and I had one.
we were at the club last night, and this girl was checking out this Harley out there. She goes, "That's a beautiful ride." And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "You got one?" I go, "I will never be able to afford one of those in my lifetime." And she was like, "For real." and then I got into my Toyota what is it, Avalon, and drove off like an old man.
You should have just said, "Yeah, it's mine," or "Yeah, I got one." I just don't like to bring it because I don't like to show off. But this is my car right
and
here.
people probably assume I'm Bad Vic rolling up. They see a motorcycle. Oh, that's Bad Vic right there.
And then they see me with all the exhaust, all smoke coming out of the.
With a sticker in the back that says "Bad Vic."
Yeah. I turn it off and it does a little drum solo.
Oh shit! So what's yours, Mike?
I ain't big ball. It was funny, like people will sit there and think that you're in, you have a video and you got, oh man, those guys are care about their profits and they're rich. Like, what profits? We don't make no damn money.
It's off by the level of the music, man.
Look, people, you don't make no money. I go, I can buy the shoes that I want now without having to go, well, I better just get these other ones instead of the ones. Now I can go, well, I'll get the ones I want. That's how much I leveled up. I can get better shoes. Even though I'm always in chunks.
I don't wear chunks because I don't know how to walk in them. I walk like this. I'm fucking serious. My lady's always making fun of me. Like, you never know how to walk in chanclas. First of all, I got fucked.
I never wore chanclas when I was young and I had to run for the police. But now, now I'm legit.
You're the one making all that noise and shit.
Yeah, it's like fuck it, I can't walk in them. They slap in the back and all. They fall off.
Yeah, you said you sound like a horse coming down the street.
My no manches. My no manches. You know me. I like to talk about scary shit. Halloween's coming up, but more. This happened last night, as a matter of fact. We were playing poker till 5 a.m. and shit. My sister was over, and we were talking about scary shit. Now I've gone through some scary shit, like some haunted shit with my family growing up. I mean, you know the stories I've said.
I got whatever you got, dog. I got ones that can beat it.
Bro, my sister fucking tripped me out last night. She said some crazy shit, some discombobulated shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she said she experienced some witchcraft bullshit.
Yeah, so this way, discombobulated.
No, I know. He's bringing out the college words and shit.
I went to college too. Nah. But she was tripping me out, and we were just talking about shit. And I slept over at my brother's house, and because I live in Redlands, right? I live east, because that's where I could afford.
Yeah, no doubt, dog. Hey, I'm renting. No lie. Sorry to destroy everybody's vision of a Bad Vic being all like big balling now. I'm another poor me.
You moved to San Bernardino, bro. You be balling.
But then I gotta live in San Bernardino. The 909, the cursed earth.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I shouldn't say that shit. I'm probably gonna end up there. I ain't lying, dude.
You guys are gonna be performing in Riverside, bro.
I'm getting priced out already.
No, Riverside is different. It's not IE. It's IE, but it's not San
Bernardino. It's its own county. That's true.
It's its own county.
So anyways, it's IE, but no está IE.
Yeah. It has its own place. So we're talking about ghost shit, and he was telling me, he said before that he found some fingerprints on where he lives.
Like a kid's fingerprints.
Yeah, kid's fingerprints. But the trippy thing is that his roof it's like angled. So where he saw the fingerprints, you can only get there by a fucking big ass escalera. You know what I'm saying?
Ladder.
And so he showed us the pictures, whatever, we're talking. And then he started talking about, he tells me yesterday, he's like, hey, fool, fucking, did you know that the neighbors, the mom used to live here and she died of cancer? Did she die here? I'm like, I don't know. So I'm already fucked up, right? I'm like, fuck, man. All the kids, because I brought my kids, they stayed upstairs and they were supposed to stay downstairs. And we're all supposed to kind of sleep together. I'm the only one that's going to sleep in the living room by myself now. So anyways, my no manches is, bro, if I'm gonna sleep over your pad, don't tell me that shit's haunted. Don't tell me that shit. Why you fucking letting me? You know what I'm saying? Tell me before. Don't fucking
bring a nightlight in.
Bro, it's 4 a.m. We're playing poker. And I'm
I can bring my rosario.
Yeah, let me fucking prepare for this shit. No, but I heard some shit last night, dog. That's the tripping part. We were sitting there and we had a Corona Pacifico, and you know Pacificos are not twist off, bro. No bullshit. The cap se quitó. Like if somebody fucking twisted it or popped it, and it fucking popped up by itself.
So it's a friendly ghost. It's like,
it's a Mexican ghost, bro.
He's like, did you see that? I was like, yeah, I saw that shit. And then my daughter was like, I saw that too, Dad. And I'm like, fuck. And then when I'm about to go to sleep on the couch, I put a ball and I make sure it was fucking placed where it doesn't move. It rolled to me, fool. I shit you not.
Playful ghost, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a kid with the little thing. So, anyways, no manches, fool. Next time, I ain't sleeping in your house, dog.
I'll sleep there, dude. That sounds like a helpful guy. It's like, hey.
Probably another one is.
Give me a beer.
Hey, for the people that can't open bottle caps, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, hook a brother up.
Yeah, fuck that. Nah, I'm cool. Anyways, that's my no manches. Don't take me to your house if it's haunted.
Oh, man. What about yours, Vic?
You know what? Mine, I'm gonna get a little serious, but mine is, you know, we've been getting some haters out here and there, out there, and you know, it's such a shame when Raza can't be happy for each other and their success and stuff. And look, we ain't big ball. You know, it ain't like we're famous or anything crazy or anything like that, but it's like we're just trying to come up, man. And you know, we've been doing this for a long time, and you know. If you got a hateful heart, man, take it somewhere else because we need to lift each other up, man. It's like you look at the other culturas, you look at the black culture and the Jewish and the Chinese, the Asian cultures, and they all help each other, man. They lift each other up. You know, if you don't like my music or if you don't like our music or whatever, that's fine. God, now everybody's got a different taste and everything, but But don't come with that mess. Don't come like that, man. You don't help our culture. We already have to deal with all these other people who are always trying to shit on us. Don't help. Don't help. If you don't like it, okay, fine. No mames. It's fine. Yeah. But you don't go out there and spread hate, man. Don't go out there and make shit bad for other people. Be happy. Be happy that your brothers and sisters are doing well. Be happy for them, you know? Yeah. And celebrate their success, because you know why? One tide raises all ships. You know, if you know, these Sacred Souls just came out with a great new album. They got a billboard out there. Am I mad at them? I'm happy for them. The more that we improve ourselves as a culture, the better we all look. Mm-hmm. We all look better when we do well. When we do well, everyone does better. So don't hate. Participate.
Yeah.
That's my right there.
Yeah, that's a big thing in our culture, man. It's a big thing in our culture.
Like, be positive, especially you youngsters out there. You know, it's like, hey, if you ain't got your own shit, don't hate on somebody else with shit. You know, don't hate because somebody else is doing. Go out there and do your own thing and see how easy it is.
You know what's crazy, because we've talked about this before. It's the fact that the internet has made that shit even worse.
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
Yeah, keyboard warriors, keyboard gangsters. Yeah. It's easy to fucking sit there and say shit. But first of all, they ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
And second, they ain't gonna come and tell you to your face. So
yeah.
No, but
okay, that video's gay, fool. It's well, what's gay about it?
But most importantly, like he brought it up. It's like, if you don't like it, that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if it's not your cup of tea, cool, that's fine. Yeah. But don't bring it down, you know what I mean?
Oh, don't watch it.
Exactly. Don't watch it.
But they're watching it for that purpose.
Just to find something.
And you know, I've gotten into some back and forth with people on the YouTube page and stuff like that. Just trying to understand, like, what's the problem, man?
Hey, my bad. I think that was me.
Yeah.
You know what my wife tells me all the time? Because I tell her sometimes, like, oh shit, like, I think with our podcast, I do the same thing. Like, fuck, I don't think we hadn't gotten constructive criticism, and there's some criticism that I don't like, but it's like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, my wife's like, I don't mind when people go, hey, you know, I don't like clowns or puppets. They scare me. I get it, you know, I get it. It ain't your thing. I get it, you know, but you know, it's one thing. It's like, that shit is gay, fool. You know, that kind of. It's like, what does that come from, man? What's gay about it? Not only that, it's like the Hulu. It's like this full show, and nobody says that anymore, man. It's not 2005. It ain't cool to say that shit is gay. All right?
Yeah.
Leave our Latinx people alone. Goddamn it.
But anyways, that's crazy. Next segment, it's our last segment.
Words of wisdom.
We're gonna close out the show. Before that, I want to say thank you for coming.
Hey, thank you guys. This has been a lot of fun, man. Thank you for getting the beer, even though I'm still on coffee.
Maybe next time we'll have it at Callahan's and shit. You know,
do a live show there.
We'll do a live show there. Fuck it.
Well, if the Steelers are playing, you ain't gonna have my attention. I'm like,
hey, fucking it up. What do you think the score's gonna be?
The score today?
Yeah, we got Ravens fans, so.
I mean, I don't know. It's preseason.
Preseason, it doesn't really matter.
I just want to see what. I just want to see what Trubisky's doing, you know. I just want to see what our new QB. I mean, it's a different world for us. I mean, I don't expect to do well this season. That, you know, I mean, not with new QBs, but although who was it? Is it the Jaguars, man? They got that kid from
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, dude, that boy is bad with his long hair, boy. That Thor-looking fool. That Thor-looking fool, man. That guy got a rock.
I don't think he's gonna do that good.
The team's not that good, that's why.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do that good. I think people are saying Justin Herbert is gonna take the Chargers.
He's freaking good. Yeah.
To the championship.
I don't know. So, that division's loaded. The AFC.
Yeah, AFC's traditionally, you know. The ones to beat.
I'm a Raider fan, so
yeah.
We don't. That's another
me too. They're saying this probably is our year.
You guys say that every year.
What was the last time?
What are you?
49ers.
Oh, Niners fan.
I'm a Niners fan. Yeah. Hey, we're there. We've been in the NFC Championship the last 3 years.
Yeah. You guys choked.
So, yeah. Well, no, not on one when we won, but still. Yeah, we chucked away.
He was at we always make fun of him because he was at the Super Bowl
in 2012.
2012
versus the Ravens.
When they gave up the game.
Yeah.
And he was, you could not get him to answer this phone.
Yeah, I mean, we take that shit serious, right?
Yeah, he was walking like a zombie.
I was ready to write a song right there, dog. My heart was broken. I should have freaking threw it off.
Hey, bro. That would have been
I was like, give me a pen and paper right now.
I'm not crying, dog.
I'm not crying.
That's funny.
Oh, shit. But yeah, man, our words of wisdom, man. Is there any words you want to share that you live by, or you just want people to kind of know?
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Yeah. So this is one that I put on my test when I was in failing algebra in high school. And my teacher said, give me your philosophy of life. And it was worth 5 points to try to help everybody who was failing, like me. And so I wrote, life is like a shit sandwich. The more bread you got, the less shit you got to eat. He gave me 10 points for that. He was like, everyone in the faculty loved that joke. He's like, fucking A, I passed.
That's dope. There you have it. Just put more bread in your life.
And for all you youngsters out there, bread back in the day meant feria. Okay, that's what that means, bread. So it might be an old saying. It's probably not good anymore. But the other thing I'll say that for all of the music fans out there, be happy you live in a world with music. All right? I don't know what I would do without it. But music is a gift that God gave us. And let me tell you how crazy this is. You can't touch it, right? It's intangible. You don't even have to know what the words mean. The feeling will, the sound converts into feeling in your heart. And that is magic. And there's a line I wrote back in the day in a song called Axiom that I wrote that says, music is the closest thing to magic any fool can have because it's available to all of us. And for something to be able that you can't touch, to be able to touch you, I don't know how to explain that other than it's un milagro. It's a miracle, right? Oh, so be thankful for that God gave us that, because it's a gift from God. And how the hell they got that and they converted and put it on a piece of wax and then you could, that's magic. That's some witch shit. You're a witch.
Hey, don't talk about that shit. Remember, no manches.
You're gonna scare me
again. So, thank you, Lord, for the music. Thank you, and for my ability that you graced me with and blessed me with to be able to put things into music and make people and hopefully give words to people who didn't have their own words to express what they're feeling and to give them a release. Because. It's a rough world out there, and to have music to get you through it, man, to me, it's like a life preserver. Yeah. I would have, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some dark times. My brother passed away, right after my, first, that long relationship ended, and I've just been going through one heartbreak after another. And if I didn't have music, man, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So, I just want to thank God.
Yeah. And thank you and all the people that bring about music. So
yeah, most definitely
have that. But
so there's a you guys got all kinds of shows. So when is your next show so that you can actually tell people that is coming up that can go check you out? I know you guys had that October show that I was trying to go to, but that thing sold out. That,
the
dude.
Penrose Showcase.
Like so that.
A little birdie told me we might be adding an extra show either the day before or day after to that gig. So for those who didn't get tickets the first time, don't sleep on the second time.
You give me a heads up, yeah?
I will. I'll give you guys a head up. As soon as I find out. We had a bunch of people at the show last night we played say, man, I didn't get, you guys got to add another show. You got to add another. I literally asked the crowd, I go, who wants us to add another show? And it was an overwhelming add another show.
Who controls that? Is that something that you guys have to set up ahead of time, or can you guys just say, fuck it, can we be here tomorrow?
So a lot of things.
It's who controls that? The money controls that. If we know we can do it, if we know there's a demand, then obviously we'll book the venue.
Gotcha.
So it really has to do with all of you out there. If you want it, then it'll happen. right? So that's the nature of our capitalist system, supply and demand. You know, you demand it, then we have to supply it. So, you know, if you guys want another show, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Go to the Penrose and go to Los Yesterdays page, and Los Yesterdays official, because the other one got ganked by some biatches. And let us know, man. Sound off.
Nice. Cool. Nice.
And then other than that, we're playing Cold Crush in Lancaster on the 3rd of September. We're real happy to play up in that area for all the gente there, because we haven't had a chance to do that. And then I'm going back to Central Valley. I'm going to do a Bad Vic show at Yosemite Falls on the 10th.
Oh, dang.
And then on the 17th, we're playing the Goldfish in Highland Park. And then on the 25th, we're playing Univision's 60th anniversary.
Oh, that's dope.
On the main stage in Olvera Street. They're blocking it all off. I think we go on at 1 o'clock. I know the Lancaster show and the Univision show, El Triste will be there on stage to help me sing Clown. Okay. So he'll be there with the puppet master.
Make sure you get the car seat.
Yeah. He'll be taking his own ass at that time. I think El Triste is old enough to drive now, I think. Right? So he'll probably be taking his. He's busier than all of us. And then I'm going to do a show. I just got Rocky Padilla just hit me up for a show on the 2nd. It's like a fundraiser. I think it's in Whittier. So I'll be doing a Bad Vic show there. And then, the 15th. And we're looking at the 21st in Whittier as well. So lots going on. And cool. As we're still working on the new full-length album, we got a few songs in the can already. We got about half the record done, and we're working on the rest of it. But it'll be something different. It'll be something you'll be hearing a different side of Los Yesterdays.
Oh, nice.
On that new record, because we're with more songs we're able to do a broader range of soul.
Nice.
So we're real excited about that. We don't have a name for it yet.
Yeah, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. I want to say on behalf of our podcast, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for sharing all your stories. Yeah.
Hey, well, awesome. Hopefully you guys have me back. I didn't bore the shit out of everybody, and you guys will have me back for when we do have the record release.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All
yeah,
that
for
stuff.
sure. Yeah.
And hopefully Roland will be able to join, because he was supposed to be here today. He sends apologies because he's got sick kids, and you guys.
No problem. Family comes first.
You know how that is.
Family comes first.
So I'm like, it's okay, dog. I can talk enough for both of us.
But yeah, man, we appreciate you coming by, talking about everything like Mike said, and keep doing your thing. We're going to be rooting for you. We're going to still be listening to you. It's on our playlist. I know that's for sure. So,
Hey, man, your mouth to God's ear. Continue.
Well, thank you guys again. Thank you for spending some time with us. We'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Thanks for having me, guys. Órale.